All rise. I give you the honor.
Yes, Mayor. Our Father who art in heaven, we ask you to bless this meeting, and thou art with your spirit. May our actions be guided by your hands, that we may be fair and just to all. We ask it in your name. Amen.
Raise the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Vic.
Yes, sir. Councilperson Pacheco?
Present.
Councilwoman Pacheco?
Here.
Mayor Martel?
Here.
Vice Mayor Ayala?
Here.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Here.
And we also have our town attorney, Michael Pizzi.
Here.
Meeting open, Mr. Mayor.
A motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Motion.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
At this moment, public comments are now open. If anybody wants to talk on the podium, you may do so at this moment. Vicky, notice nobody came to the podium. Public
Noted.
comments are now closed. I want to do items A all the way to D, if it's okay with the council, if you have any questions on them. So that way Michael Pizzi could do A to D in one motion. Fine with the council? A through D.
A through D. Oh, the four ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see, resolution, some stuff. Okay, so we're gonna comment on those items together also.
Yeah, we can read it all once and then we go comment on one.
Okay, good enough.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, item A, a resolution approving and instructing staff to issue a request for proposals, RFP, for security access system design services, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date. Item B, resolution approving and instructing the staff to issue a request for proposals, RFP, for surveillance systems and services, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date. Resolution approving and instructing, item C, a resolution approving and instructing the town staff to issue a request for proposals for road paving and resurfacing services, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, and providing for an effective date. And item D, a resolution and approving and instructing staff to issue a request for qualifications, RFQ, for road paving and surfacing services, providing for authorization, providing for implementation, providing for an effective date. Those are items A through D. With the council's approval, you can move them all together, but they're also still all subject to questions and discussion.
Any question from the council?
Related to those items, on the item C first,
C?
C, the resurfacing of the lakeside. We have heard the first sketch is lakeside. On the first page, I just want to comment on in that back road of the lot 600, if you make the request or you contract with the people who's gonna do that, they need to take in consideration for some reason, some traders or some property owners, they are been using a little bit more of the street to expand their, we can say, front patio. Mm-hmm. So I got a talk 3 months ago with the people of waste management, sometimes the truck, they having problem just passing through because it's being narrowed. So people just extend the fronts and then now the road is very narrow. So once I believe we need to just address, if we're going to fix that, to let some area, like a buffer area, because everybody is just going in, and it's very narrow now.
Well, I figure, Camilo, if you want to come up, I figure the way this is going to be done, the company that we get to choose when Ms. Partridge does a RFP for it, they need to make it a legal width that is standard for that road. If they have to go 6 inches on each side, that's what they need to do.
Well,
okay.
We need to make sure we have the right measurements.
Yes.
yeah, because in some areas, you only have the little space to pass with the car because people extend the frontage and they put concrete or they put some kind of, I don't know why, they just extend just in every side. So now the street in some area are very narrow. So we need to create a buffer to leave at least 1 or 2 feet to each side.
I know what we need to do there is follow Dade County's regulations on roads, and
Yes.
that's what they're gonna implement. And then they have to, if something's in the way, they would have to remove it and make sure that it's covered.
Yeah.
Okay, because the streets are, they're specified by Dade County a certain width, and that's what we need to follow.
Yes. And,
So if anybody tried to take a little piece of the street, it's gonna be taken back because it belongs to the street. And I appreciate your comment on that, and we'll address that.
And on this idea, I don't know too much about this, but the thing is, we're gonna resurface. So we're gonna remove the concrete like is existing, the asphalt.
The asphalt, no, it's not gonna be
It's
removed.
just gonna be.
It's just gonna be, just milling
Milled.
and resurfacing.
Okay,
And then we're gonna have to do the driveway connections too.
okay, because you know, that area always flow when we have
Yes.
heavy rains. And we don't, I don't know why, but and somehow we need to do at least, or to install 2, how they call manholes? Manholes, and
Drains?
take those drains?
If you put drains, it's gonna be a lot of money, because
I don't-
they never put a drain in Lakeside.
Soto can
There is
comment
no
on that,
drain
but
in
I don't
Lakeside.
think, I don't think we can install
Okay,
any drains.
that
with,
is between you and the mayor, I just put the idea, but the thing is, when we put the higher surface, it's fine in that area, but I gonna comment in the third scenario on the, actually, is the third page, on the street where Jesus lives. I believe it's behind your house,
68 core.
68 Court. Okay, that area, Mayor and Mr. Pisi, we tried to put a project together there, like I can see now like a probably we do not gonna work on it, but that road, it was a request by the people who live there, like they need some kind of drainage. Okay. It's another project like it can be very expensive, but here we have a resurface also. But I asked to some engineers, like if we put more asphalt, it will be higher, but the people who live there is gonna get floated. And I can tell you, the people from, we can say from Humberto Barona's lives to on the other side, it's gonna get flowed. But also, I find out, and I don't know if you know this, maybe it's just a gossip, there is an existing of manholes there, but they say the last time when we resurfaced, we covered those manholes. And I don't know if that is sure or not. The only thing is, I just put in this, when we put more asphalt, it's gonna flow those areas.
When they mill, the actual level comes down, and then when they put the asphalt, it'll be back plus or minus the original level. That's why we're milling. If not, we would only put asphalt. But we're milling, so that way it brings it back to the level, and when they put the asphalt on top, it'll be plus or minus the same level, so that way it matches all the driveway and everything.
Okay,
They're gonna try to match the existing elevation of the.
and try to find out with the neighbors, because they know better,
Yeah.
if it's any manhole like it used to be prior to the last resurfacing, like it was covered.
Well, we're talking about stormwater drainage, not sewer manhole. Let's just get that.
Yes, drainage, the inlet.
Okay.
It's different from the manhole.
Okay,
So if there's any inlet for drainage, and we can find out about it, of course, we'll dig it back up and,
try to,
put it back to work.
yeah, because, let me
Anything
tell you, exactly there between those two neighbors, Humberto Barona and Kiki Queen, one day I passed there and I was completely floated. I don't know if you can just improve something.
No, that thing, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One of the things that we need to do there that is a must is replace the water main. Because it's over 40 years old and it's galvanized, it's 2-inch, and we need to have fire protection, so there's a lot of stuff we have to do to those roads.
Yeah,
But right now, we don't have the money. you know.
but,
And I just want to say for the record and for you guys' information, one of the reasons of the flooding in that area is because of every time it rains a lot, most of the drains in that area are connected to the canal. So if the canal is high, the drain is not going to do much.
yes.
So there's nothing we can do about that.
I just have a question. Again, this is something that's outside of the scope of what I understand, so it's helpful to get your insight. How would, because ideally flooding is a huge issue in that area. It's unbearable and we should find a solution. If it's not in the coming months, it should be a priority for the administration. But by doing this, is there any chance that the flooding can get worse?
No, it's not gonna get worse because we're gonna try to match the same elevation that we have now. So it's not gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better, but it's not gonna get worse.
And then we have how confident are we that it won't get worse? Is that something
No,
that?
because if we keep the same elevation, it's not gonna do any,
Okay.
any damage to anything.
Yeah, and I asked because my concern is, so the residents are gonna start seeing movement there, and the biggest question, and it's various, it comes up a lot, is what is being done for the flooding? So if they see us working there and we're not, if we make it worse, it's gonna be a serious issue and we'll have to bring that back here. But yeah, I just had that question, thank you.
Any other
Yes.
question for the council?
No, just to support her idea is because that's happening in 81. They resurface, and all the people from the E Road, they got flooded. And
But they didn't, sorry to interrupt, they didn't mill. They put asphalt on top of the existing asphalt and they raised the level.
Okay,
In this case, we're milling, okay? So that way it stays at the same level and we have all the driveways matching and everything. Because if we add asphalt on top of that without milling, it'll raise an inch or so, and then you'll have puddles in front of all the driveways. By doing the milling, all the driveways are gonna match. And then also in Lakeside, if somebody took a piece of the road, they're gonna be taking it back because the road needs to be a certain dimension according to Dade County regulations.
and how difficult is for you, George, to install over there a manhole? Just one?
The thing is,
It's not that, is it?
No, it's,
environmentally wise, it's hard, because you have to get permits to do that. It's
Okay.
not us, we used to do it a long time ago, we used to do it, but right
and
now
now
we
it's,
can't. Yeah, we have to go through the agencies, the environmental agencies, and they have to approve it. But the best thing to do there, if there's a capital improvement for drainage, it will be an outfall to the canal. That will solve the problem at all.
okay, but there is not in consideration to expend that kind of money?
Not right now because of the budget.
Okay, good enough.
We could put it in the next year budget and then go from there. But, and when they originally did all those roads, they never took that into consideration. In Lakeside, there's completely no catch basin or anything in Lakeside.
Well, the
Okay?
thing
And
is,
then the private area doesn't have any either.
okay, but I'm gonna just mention this to you, Mayor. We were considering, last year, Mike, do you remember when we talked with that neighbor on the street, we offer and we promised to him, we're gonna include some kind of drainage alleviation on that area together with the project of the pump station 1? Do you remember that guy?
I remember that. I remember, Mr. Vice Mayor, actually, the homeowner and also a couple of people had complained about that they were having serious problems with the drainage, and they wanted to know if CIP could include repairing the drainage in the current capital funding for the year. You're correct. So some of the people were complaining about the drainage there, and there was a request at one point to see if it was not in the capital improvement CIP budget. It was not one of the budgets, one of the projects approved by the council for the CIP budget, but there was a request that CIP consider amending the CIP projects approved by the council to add that. And I think at some point we're going to be having a workshop shortly on CIP, and at that workshop there'll be a presentation of all of the existing CIP projects, and Mr. Vice Mayor, you and the rest of the council can have an opportunity at that point to get an update as to where they are on building the projects approved by the council. And at that point, there might be an opportunity to make proposals and suggestions at the workshop to tweak the proposals and reallocate the resources and maybe add certain projects based upon the need. So there will be an opportunity at the workshop to consider, get the residents' input and maybe make modifications to add projects to the CIP capital budget that may be more necessary for the people.
I just have one last comment. I think that for the incoming budget, I think that we should really prioritize this, and I'd be happy to meet to see the needs because you see firsthand the true needs. But this is like, ultimately, as elected officials, this is what the people care about. Flooding is a huge issue, not just affecting the quality of life, but it has health hazards. So I think that definitely this should be a priority for the incoming budget, and I'd be happy to meet with you and just to get your in-depth opinion on how we can address this. Thank you.
A motion to approve items A through D.
Motion to approve those resolutions.
Second.
Roll call, Vic.
At the CIP workshop, you can make major changes.
Vice Mayor, I'm sorry, Councilperson Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacheco?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayala?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Martel?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Mike, item E.
Well, the next item is your item for discussion, request. Item E is your item, Mr. Mayor, for discussion and action on the proposed declaration of property surplus. So item E is the mayor's item, and item F is the item from Social Services to appoint the daycare tutor.
Let's do item F first then. A motion to approve item F.
I just have a suggestion. I reviewed the documentation thoroughly. I do see that I believe that some people were excluded from being interviewed because they didn't meet the criteria of being able to be here at 2. I wanted to know, Mayor, if you're willing to be flexible with that?
Next week, supposedly we're going to have another interviews with the rest of the departments, because I wanted to get people to be able to work there between 2 and 6, but it's not happening. We haven't gotten the response I imagine we're going to be getting. So next week, the other people that we have pending, Liz Mari and Susie, will be doing the interview and bring it in front of council for the March 4th meeting. So we get the total amount of the 4 staff. And then besides that, also I want to add in the agenda for the March 4th, if you guys give me the okay to add a couple more employees for that department, because a couple more people left than we expected. So that way we could have another interview after March 1st, after March 4th, for another meeting that we could have the other staff come in.
Great, thank you.
So I have a motion. Who has a second? For item F? Roll call, Vic.
Okay, Mayor, for the record, just to be sure, the motion is to appoint this person, and this will be, the hire day will be Thursday, February 22nd, 2024?
That is correct.
Okay. Councilperson Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacheco?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayala?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Martel?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And then in item E, like we discussed in the previous meeting, it's surplus property. I spoke to staff and everything, and then it has a big easement in the back that to us is not, it's not going to be worth anything, so I think it's better just to sell it. So I put a motion into resolution C 2132 to sell the property.
I'd just like to make a comment.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, I saw that this time around there was supporting documentation, but it was just for reference only, but it really wasn't supportive enough for my stance. So for this reason, I can't support that item.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor,
Motion?
I'm sorry, Councilperson Pacheco. Let me ask you publicly. The last time Mr. Councilperson Pacheco made the motion, and I want to ask, who bring that the first time when we discussed this? Who bring that to the consideration? You or Councilperson Pacheco?
I brought it up.
I don't remember.
I brought it up.
Okay, you brought it up, you make a motion, but the mayor, you told me like, you do not going to support that, and you make me feel like I was mistaking myself, because I knew it, you're gonna make the second on that particular item. What is the reason why you consider now to bring this to us?
After I made that motion, we came up with a pool issue. So we don't have money for funding the pool, so that's why I changed my mind, and I put it now so we could sell it, so that way we covered our budget. Okay, and have also, because we're bringing another item up that we're also not in budget that we have to take care of also, which will be coming, I don't know if it's coming in March or coming in April. That is also another program for our resident we will have in budget that we have to come up with more money. So that's the reason I put in the motion. That satisfies your answer?
No, yes, that's how to find my
Because I got to
answer.
make sure the budget stands and we make everything accomplished. And then seeing that the easement that has in the back and all that, all the scenarios, it really is not worth keeping. It's better to collect some money from it, and that way we use it for our own personal budget.
Mayor, Mike, with your permission, can I comment with the mayor what I commented to you yesterday?
You could, Mr. Vice Mayor, I think that you may always make any comments that you believe are important to the public and at the meetings. Every council member has a right to make comments to what they believe that should be discussed.
Okay. Mayor, yesterday I commented to Mr. Pizzi, like the way this was handled, and it's not just me. Many people knows this outside of the administration or the town of Medley, because I went to that area too. I take some videos for that area, but I just gonna tell you this. If I was you, I think twice to put this at this moment of the year, that property like a surplus. You know why? Because the way that you did it, or the way councilperson did it the first time, everybody got the impression like there is a business person with the interest to buy this property. So basically, they are looking us, if we approve this tonight, to change to surplus. Why? Because the perception is, if you don't did it the last time, you are doing this tonight, this meeting. The whole meeting is just like 5 items, but the important thing is this item. So the perception right there is like we're going to pass this, the majority of the council, because you, the council who are proposing this, has a special interest on this negotiation.
I have no special interest in anything that sells in the
That's-
city, and they could check all my records and see, first of all, you're accusing me of something, so you're going
I
out of
am
line.
not-
And second, wait, you're accusing me of something that's
I
going
didn't
out of line.
finish.
And, no, and I haven't finished, because you're accusing me of something that I don't touch a penny from the city. All I do is put money out of my pocket to give to the people.
I don't
Okay?
accuse you.
So the other thing is, when we had the meeting last time, if you recall correctly, the thing with the pool went after this went in. And when Ms. Parchman said we didn't have funding for it, I
Yes.
said, and then I met with staff and they told me, this is one of the solutions, and I accept the solution, and besides, we didn't have no use for it.
That is the
Okay?
solution. Let me just finish. That is the solution, Mayor. But the thing of the pool is $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
But the perception, like, are we doing this to benefit somebody?
That's your perception.
No, not me. It's not me. It's
You're the one saying it. I don't have no
Well,
perception
no,
of that.
because-
I'm not trying to benefit
Listen,
anybody.
because-
Mr. Ayala, I'm not trying to benefit anybody. I'm just trying to fight. I fight for my city, and that's all I try to benefit. And they could look my record, since I was a councilor and a mayor, everything I did was fight for my city to make it work the way it's supposed to work.
Why you
Okay?
don't accept
I
that?
have no particular interest in nobody or anything. The only thing I have interest here, as I was sworn in, is to protect my city and do what's right for my town. That's it. Go ahead, Mr. Pizzi.
No, I just, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Vice Mayor and the council, I want to note that the motion tonight would be approved tonight would not be to sell the property. I mean, assuming this motion passes, there would be no authority to sell the property. What would be authorized would be to establish would be to bid it out. And then before it could be sold to anybody, you would get a second bite at the apple. What I mean is that they'd have to come back and you would see, you know.
Yeah, you gotta get a realtor, and they gotta get bids.
That's what I'm saying, is there would have to be, assuming this passes tonight, there would be no authority of staff to sell the property. The only thing staff would be authorized to do if it passes would be to put it out to bid, and then at that point, before it could be sold, it would have to come back for
for approval.
a public hearing in front of the council with a list of who bid on it and.
All the different numbers.
And then at that point, the council would have the full authority at that point, like parcel B, the council would have the authority at that point to say, you know what? We don't like who bid on this, we don't like the reasons, we don't think it's a good idea, and we're not gonna.
And we might
sell
not get
it."
any
So-
bid,
so
and then it can't be sold.
yeah, so the other point, Mr. Vice Mayor, I understand the concerns about selling public property, because public property is always for the benefit of the public. The only point I would make, understanding those concerns, the only point I would make is the council would get a second bite to look at this in a public meeting and see whether or not anybody bid on it and who they bid, and then at that point, the council would get a chance to raise questions and very, very carefully vet it.
Thank you, Mike. Pacheco, I put a motion on. You want to say something?
Yes, yes, I do want to say something. If there was anybody that has other opinions against this, perceptions, why are they not here? How come they weren't here in the first meeting and now they're not here? Nobody comes up to the podium
Well, I
to
want to
speak.
stop this. I have a
No, no,
motion.
hold on,
Is there a
hold on.
second, or?
Hold on.
You deserve an
It's my
answer.
turn, it's my turn,
You deserve
okay?
an answer.
This is not the first time that I've been called, that I'm putting money on my pocket. It had happened before, okay? Our lives are based on public records, and anybody can come and check our lives. They can come and check my financials, which I'm pretty sure they have done it. I have had many public records requests. Here I am, sitting here, okay? And I did drove to the spot as well, and this is certainly something that the town is never gonna do anything with that little spot right there, all right? So since we're speaking about, you know, taking care of our streets and lakeside and all that, the purpose of selling parcel B, that was the purpose for lakeside, which I said it on the meeting. Part of the money was gonna go to fix the streets and see if we can put drainage on lakeside. But for some reason, the parcel did not get sold, okay? So now we need money for the pool. Well, you know what? I see this as a chance to get in the money. And since last meeting, I was left with a motion on my own. I'm moving forward with this.
Okay.
So I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Vic.
No, Mayor.
Mr.
Now,
Allen,
listen.
that's it. I don't want no more accusation, because I'm tired of people accusing me. You can check everything
Mike.
I have. You can check all my bank records.
Mike.
You can check everything. You can check,
Mike.
everybody can check anything. I
Mike.
don't take a penny from nobody.
Mike.
I give my money away to people that
you
need.
need to put order.
Okay?
Mike, you need to put order because
No, I'm putting order here. And
no.
I have a second roll
no,
call, Vic.
No,
That's it.
Mike, I need
Roll call,
from
Vic.
you
Roll
to stop
call,
that
Vic.
roll call because I need to answer questions
No,
and
there's no
statements.
more question. It's solved.
No,
Roll
the
call.
thing is, we have been doing this illegally. It's
It's
illegal
not
what you
illegal.
say.
It's
Yes,
not illegal. The
when
attorney's
you-
there.
When you
Roll
stop
call,
me,
Vic.
when you stop me,
Party,
to
take
stop-
them out.
Take me out. No, take me out.
That's it.
Take me out.
Mayor,
No, take me out.
Mayor,
United States.
Yes,
hang
go ahead.
on a second. Mayor,
I get upset when people
Mayor,
accuse me in front.
You need to
hang on a
listen.
second, Vice Mayor.
No, I don't need to listen
Mr.
to
Mayor,
them.
please. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and council, I'm going to take 20 seconds, and I'm going to ask that you give me 20 seconds, please. Please, okay? I think that the Vice Mayor made his points. Mr. Mayor, you and Councilman Pacheco responded. You all responded very aggressively on the record. I think that it's the rhetoric, raising voices, anybody, the rhetoric and all that, I think is probably not great. We're here to vote on the item and figure out what the city's going to do. My recommendation, Mr. Mayor, to protect the record, would be that, there can be limits on the debate, would be that people be given, a few seconds to make whatever final comments they want to make, and then take the vote. However, my recommendation would be, since everybody's friends and colleagues here, and everybody respects each other, that we tone down the rhetoric a little bit. So, Mr. Mayor, perhaps you can give everybody, 30 seconds to wrap it up and make their final points, all 5 members, and then call a vote. That's my recommendation.
Go ahead, Ms. Rego.
30 seconds each.
What I have to say, probably in 30 seconds, I will try to say this. I didn't accuse nobody to taking money because you put those words in your mouth, the mayor and Councilperson Pacheco. What I say is the perception over there is like somebody is pushing for this and benefit. And what I do this because I am the voice of the business people and the community. The other thing is we got $5.5 million for the other property like we sold on 107, and we didn't expend any money yet for that money. That was my comment. And the last 10 seconds is to say, I was thinking to call to the press conference in order to stop these kind of situations. Why? Because Mayor, you don't want to listen. And you are the mayor, and you have to listen. Even if you don't like it, you have to listen, everybody. Thank you.
Next person, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, I think that once again, the way that things are being done are unethical, regardless if you believe they're right or wrong, they're unethical. Just for that, so that this is on record and that the community knows, the person that has the highest interest in this property has openly stated that the mayor promised him the sale of this land a year ago and has been patiently waiting. I, in good conscience, cannot approve something of the sort. You can't promise someone and then bring it to council and say that there's not any interest. So I highly recommend my colleagues to think thoroughly, because the decision that we make here tonight is gonna have repercussions, not only locally, but we're being looked at.
Anybody else has a comment?
Yes.
Go ahead, Cornelia.
Mayor, so even if the other council agree or disagree with what you are doing, what we are trying to doing, so we have to respect. If they need to talk, please let them talk, because we are freedom to talk, Mayor. So you should show respect to everyone. I have to say to you, because you are not looking good in that way, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead, Vic, roll call.
Yes, sir. Just to be clear, as the town attorney stated, Mayor, you had made your motion to approve Resolution C-2132, but this resolution was only provided for reference only. This was the resolution that did not pass on the last February 5th, 2024 meeting. So the motion would be to authorize staff to bid the property out and for the matter to come back for further discussion and/or action. Are you willing to amend your motion to, for these instructions?
Yes?
Yes? Okay, perfect. Councilperson Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacheco?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayala?
No.
Councilwoman Rodriguez?
No.
Mayor Martel?
Yes,
Motion passed by majority of votes.
thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor, aye? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.